The blue chip ratio is a lie. It's fugazi. It's not real. That's according to Miami Hurricane fans. This topic has heated up so much this year that it has people who have proclaimed for years and years that it is not the talent. Talent is not the issue. It is the coaching. But we got to this particular year, and we have a pretty well decorated staff who have won at other places. So obviously, if they're not winning now, that means we don't have any talent. As T2Y says, that's tough. But allow for me to chime in a little bit. I was on Facebook earlier. I saw a person post, how do we as Miami Hurricane fans know that we have more talent and are more talented than every team we played this year aside from Texas A&M? And don't give me the star rating crap. That's why they don't have those type of metrics in the collegiate game. I said, it's easy. I said, national media, other coaches, recruiting analysts, amongst other people, other college football journalists. Preseason, it was indicated that the Miami Hurricanes received the most first place votes to win the ACC Coastal. Now, let's take recruiting analysts out of it because that's what they go by. They go by the star system. Let's go to other coaches. So when these particular coaches cast these ballots for first place, and they gave that first place vote to the Miami Hurricanes, do I think that they went to Rivals? Do I think they went to ESPN? Do I think they went to 247 to look and say, okay, well, Miami has this many 4 stars and this many 5 stars, this many high-level 3 stars. Blue chip ratio is above 50. Yeah, they should win the ACC Coastal. No. What did they do? They looked at film. They looked at the film. You don't think Pat Narduzzi looked out there on the field last year and he said, who is that 6'5" athlete who just picked off Kenny Pickett? Do you think the NC State coach, when it was 4th down and they threw the ball right there short of the first down and saw number 24 come up there and make a game-saving tackle, do you think he went back and looked and said, what was he ranked? What, was he a 4-star? Was that a 5-star? No, he passed the eye test. Do you think that Narduzzi, NC State coach, Central Connecticut State University, I mean, do you think when they saw Tyler Van Dyke back there throwing the ball, they went back to say, well, wait a minute, what is he ranked? How many stars does he have? Do you think when Rooster broke that electrifying run against Florida State last year, do we think Memphis Mike went to either one of these recruiting services and said, oh, well, he's a 4-star, he's supposed to do that? No. They looked at film. They looked at film, they saw it in their face, and they came to the conclusion and said, you know what? These are some pieces that the Miami Hurricanes can build off of, and they are inserting Mario Cristobal, who is coming off a 10-4 campaign at the University of Oregon. I think this is the team that's going to win the Coastal this year. National media. I'm sure we've had a fair share of Miami Hurricane highlights. Obviously, these are people that work for the ACC. Some of these, particular writers and particular pundits. Miami is a school, is a football program that is revered. It's not at the level it was in the 80s, early 90s, and the early 2000s. It's not there. But sometimes you just saw something And regardless of what state they're in, you may not like it, but you still gonna show it some respect. You're not gonna be, even with the guys throwing the U down, you don't even have a sign to throw down. What does North Carolina have to do down? You don't. So I look at that and say, y'all just upset that y'all didn't get an offer. Anybody that throws it down, hey, you just mad because you didn't get offered. That's how I feel about it, right? But when we talk about they do have these particular metrics in collegiate football. What do they base the All-American team off of? What do they base the All-Conference team off of? They base it off of production. They base it off of what you see on the field, which is the equivalent to when they classify a player a 5-star, 4-star, 3-star, 2-star. They base it on what we saw on the field. Obviously some camp, obviously some measurables, things like that. So those are still metrics that they're measuring from this particular standpoint. So when the question again is asked, does Miami have talent? Miami has talent. But at the same time, does Miami have talent to fit what Coach Cristobal is trying to do? And we could say no. And like I said on a video yesterday about Coach Cristobal potentially keeping Coach Gaddis, I said Mario Cristobal is not going to put a Band-Aid on a shotgun wound. He's going to go ahead and do the surgery that needs to be done. And he's going to turn Miami into what he wants. There's a myriad of different examples. We all look, who's the runaway favorite for the Heisman Trophy this year? A guy who no one thought about, Hendon Hooker. Tennessee went 7-5 last year. Hendon Hooker still threw for 30 touchdowns. We saw Hendon Hooker at Virginia Tech. Did his play style fit what the Hokies were trying to do? No, he left. Went to go play for Josh Heupel. He left. Kenneth Walker. Now, this is the unique one right here, right? Because Wake Forest was a dominant team last year. And Kenneth Walker left that situation and went to Michigan State. Now, we can really sit up here and stop and think. I mean, this is the real interesting one here. How does Kenneth Walker leave a potent offense with Sam Hartman's probably going to be a first-round quarterback, with that long mesh process? How do you feel like that you're not being utilized in that particular offense? He leaves. And probably going to Michigan State probably got him drafted. No, I know it got him drafted. Kenneth Walker was in the Heisman talk. So it's just gotten to a point now where, look, man, stop saying we don't have talent. Stop saying it. Say we do not have talent to do what Coach Cristobal and maybe even what Coach Steele wants to do. Say that. When, I guess I'll say it now, when it was announced that, Rooster was potentially leaving, I saw people who loved Rooster last year. Oh, he probably fumbled the transfer paper. Oh, he probably fumbled it. And it's just like, this is how quickly y'all can turn on players. Just because a player is not fitting. Now, obviously, of course, fumbles, we can't have that. We can't give teams additional possessions. But again, to go back and say Rooster's fumble was the reason we lost the game earlier this year, it's foolish. It's foolish. Obviously, when a man's down, you want to kick him when he's down, but that's foolish. So, star rating aside, all this extra stuff aside, national pundits, other coaches, other media, and even the fan base, which we can exclude us, but even the fan base, the majority of these people said that we were going to win ACC Coastal this year. And you can't do that without having talent on the field. And it's just, the fit, it's not It's not fitting right now. So that's what it is. So no, the blue chip ratio is not a lie. It just matters if the blue chips fit into the system. And currently, we only have a few of them that actually do. But as always, go Canes. Hit the like button, subscribe, share.